Hi, it's Michelle Bursell checking in with you today to see if you have fallen prey to ego spending. Now, if you're like most of us, I'm sure at one point or another you have done some ego spending. I will say that most of my 20s was about ego spending. And ego spending is really about buying things just to make ourselves feel better. It's a sense of we turn to the external to try to validate ourselves. Well, of course, being on this path of consciously evolving, I thought that I was over that. But lo and behold, my ego nabbed me one more time, and I did some ego spending recently, which was really kind of shocking to me. But the ego can be really tricky to all of us, and this is how it tricked me, and I want to share it with you so that you don't get caught in some ego spending unconsciously as well. So what happened was I was feeling that I wanted to celebrate my successes recently, and I felt the urge to spend. I felt the urge to buy an expensive bottle of wine. I bought some theater tickets, musical theater tickets to a production that I've already seen. And I started noticing with those purchases that, this isn't bringing me joy. So thankfully, this is where I've gotten to recognizing that when we spend, we are meant to spend and it brings us joy internally. We are meant to spend money on things that really uplift us and bring us that joy that we are meant to experience. And these two things didn't really do that for me. So thankfully, I was able to turn to my feelings and really understand what this was about. And unconsciously, what I was looking to do was to validate my successes through the external. And that's when I got caught and fell prey to ego spending. And what this really reminded me of was a client who would tell me, Michelle, I have champagne tastes on a beer budget. And so what she was trying to tell me is, Michelle, I know my worth. I see all these beautiful things out in the world that I claim that I should have. But my income tells me otherwise. And I feel limited that I can't buy these things, even though I claim them as my worth. And this is where we can easily fall prey into ego spending as well, because it's your ego saying that you should be able to spend freely and you should have all these things, when your essence knows the truth. Your essence knows that there's going to be specific, certain things that are going to bring you joy. And those things you should have, you should joyfully spend on. But what we do is that we do the opposite. And we turn to ego spending when we do these three things. First is when we spend on something that we can't afford. When we spend on something that we can't afford, we don't know our worth. The second thing is that we do is that we spend to demonstrate our worth, like I did, to demonstrate that you can afford something. Again, you're not demonstrating that you know your worth. And the third way that we do this is when we spend on something that doesn't bring us joy and we lower our standard just so that we have something, just so that we bring something home, something new to our closet. And of course, when you lower your standard in this way, it's not going to bring you joy, and you don't know your worth. So this is the whole point, that if we truly want to open ourselves up to abundance in all its forms, we have to be certain that we are claiming our worth and we're not lowering our standards, or we're not looking to the external to prove our standard and prove who we are. Now I say this, it's the same thing when it comes to dating, money, career, anything else that you want to attract. If you lower your standard, there isn't room for what you truly desire to come in, because you are claiming to the universe that you will accept this. You will accept the lower standard. You will accept things that do not bring you joy. And that's what you're going to continue to attract in. Versus when you are very clear, and this is what I want you to do, is to continue to be conscious and to be aware with your spending, so that every bit of money that you put forward, it is a reflection of you and your joy. And when you do that, you open yourselves up to receive even more joy, more experiences that will reflect your true worth and reflect the joy that is within you. So until next time, continue to live consciously and live exceptionally well.